we want to be a zero fresh water consumption at each of our plants. And I think we are very close to achieving that. Water comes through us by way of cane, and we want to give back some of that water into agriculture. So we've been doing that too. We also want to reduce the water intensity of the crop, and we are trying to deploy drip irrigation, spray irrigation, and those kind of facilities. In addition to that, we've been investing a lot on water harvesting infrastructure in each of the villages, which would enable the the groundwater levels to be preserved. I mean, if not improve over the year.
I am B.B. Mehta, whole-time director and the CEO of the company. We had set up the sugar business in the year 94, and I have been associated with this business right throughout. And now we are going to complete 30 years in this business. The first thing which I learned in the sugar business was that sugar is produced in the fields and not in the factories. Factories, we only extract it. This was one of the basic things which I learned when we set up this business.
It's with a lot of pride, satisfaction and happiness that I look back upon 30 years of sugar business. We started our first unit in 1994 and would be completing 30 years this October. Of this journey, I have been a part of 25 years of this journey, and this has been a very fulfilling and satisfying journey. Along the course, we have touched many lives of different stakeholders, farmers being the most important one of them. And it has given us a lot of happiness to see the amount that we have contributed, to farmers in improving their livelihoods, working for local communities, working for various stakeholders in rural areas, trying to multiply farmer income, make crop sustainable.
Good morning, everyone. I, Ashima Khanna, Company Secretary of Dalmia Bharat Sugar Industries Limited, welcome you all to the 72nd Annual General Meeting of the company being held through video conferencing facilitated by NSDL in accordance with the circulars issued by Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. Participation of members through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum. As per the circulars issued by Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Section 103 of the Companies Act, we have the requisite quorum present to conduct the proceedings of the EAGM. All the board members and management personnel are attending the meeting through video conferencing from different locations. I would
Not able to hear you. Not able to hear you.
Chairman of Risk Management Committee of the Board of Directors.
Thank you, Ashima, and good morning to everyone. I welcome all the members to the 72nd Annual General Meeting of the company.
Next, I would like to introduce Mrs. Amita Misra, an independent director. She also serves as the chairperson of the Audit Committee, the Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and the CSR Committee, contributing significantly to our governance and strategic decision.
Thank you, Ashima. Good morning, everyone. I welcome you all to the 72nd Annual General Meeting of the company.
Honor to introduce Mr. Neeraj Chandra, who has recently joined our company as an additional director in the independent category. He is a chairman of the Stakeholders Relationship Committee of the Board of Directors. Mr. Chandra is an electrical engineer from IIT Kanpur and MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. With over 40 years of leadership experience, he has held several prominent positions at Unilever, Britannia, and Imam.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 72nd Annual General Meeting of the company.
Next, I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Pankaj Rastogi, who has recently joined our Board of Directors as an additional director. With over 25 years of dedicated service at Dalmia Bharat Sugar, Mr. Rastogi has a distinguished background as a mechanical engineer from IIT Kharagpur and MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. His strategic vision and leadership has been pivotal in driving the operational excellence and elevating the company to a leadership position in the industry.
Thank you, Ashima, and good morning, everyone. Welcome you to this AGM of the company. Thank you.
Now, I would like to introduce Mr. P. Kannan, an independent director on the board. His second term as an independent director is getting over at the conclusion of this AGM. We place on record our appreciation for the contributions made by him in the growth of the company during his tenure.
Thank you very much, Ashima. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 72nd AGM of the company.
Next is Mr. Gautam Dalmia, our esteemed Managing Director, a dynamic leader whose strategic vision and exceptional expertise have been instrumental in propelling our company to new heights of innovation and success.
Yeah, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the AGM of our company. Thank you.
Next, I'm honored to introduce Mr. Bharat Bhushan Mehta, our whole-time director and CEO of the company. With an impressive association spanning 45 years, Mr. Mehta has been a cornerstone of our company, guiding us with his extensive experience and unwavering commitment.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the AGM.
May I now please request the chairman to take the chair.
Thank you, Ashima, and I now call the 72nd Annual General Meeting of Dalmia Bharat Sugar and Industries.
Sir, you're on mute.
No, I'm not.
Can you hear me? I think the volume is slightly lower.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ashima, and I now call the 72nd Annual General Meeting of Dalmia Bharat Sugar and Industries to order. I would now Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed shareholders and colleagues, it's my great privilege to warmly welcome each of you to the 72nd Annual General Meeting of the Dalmia Bharat Sugar and Industries Limited. It is my pleasure to present an overview of the company's performance for the financial year 23-24. While the year was marked by a relatively moderate uptrend in financial performance of the sugar industry, our achievements were substantial. The company reported a 5% increase in EBITDA and a 2% increase in profit after tax as compared to the previous year. Coming to the distillery business, our distillery business has been a significant driver of revenue and margin growth over the past few years. We increased the distillery capacity from 140 KLPD in FY 2017-18 to 850 KLPD in FY 2023-24. This growth was driven by the National Biofuel Policy, which encouraged sugar manufacturers to switch from sugar production to ethanol production. As a result, distillery revenues increased from 5% to 28% of our overall revenues, and its contribution to EBITDA rose from 16% to 28%. However, there was an interruption in our transformation journey last financial year. In late 2023, the Indian government temporarily withdrew permission to manufacture ethanol directly from cane syrup. This decision was driven by an apprehension of lower sugar production and accordingly increase in sugar prices and consequent impact on the consumers. As a result, we saw a decline in the market realization of sugar and ethanol production. Despite this, we remain optimistic. The government is committed to the long-term success of the ethanol blending program, targeting 20% blending of automotive fuel with ethanol by 2026. The program has attracted sizable investments, enhanced the ethanol output, and helped the country save on foreign exchange. We believe the recent policy modification is a temporary interruption, and we expect the status quo to be restored from the 24-25 sugar season. On capacity expansion, during the last financial year, we took decisive steps to expand our capacity. We acquired Bagoli Sugar Distillery Limited through the NCLT process in December 2023. This acquisition included integrated operations with 3,500 TCD sugar, 12 MW megawatt cogeneration, and an under commissioning 100 KLPD distillery. This acquisition was strategically important. Within 3 months of the acquisition, we revived the unit that had been closed for 7 years and commenced commercial production of sugar. This rapid revival signals a commitment to growth and our capability to capitalize on new opportunities. We also increased our ethanol manufacturing capacity using grain as feedstock from 110 KLPD to 250 KLPD at our Jawaharpur unit. This increase will reduce our dependence on cane syrup or molasses and provide us with great resource flexibility, enhancing ethanol output and overall profitability. With 4 sugar manufacturing units in Uttar Pradesh and 2 in Maharashtra, we are now one of the largest sugar companies in India, possibly the only one with concurrent presence in both states. Our competitive advantage, built on EBITDA margins, is set to strengthen further with this scale and strategic positioning. At Dalmia Bharat Sugar, sustainability is at the core of our operations. The ethanol blending program is not just about foreign exchange savings, it's also about transforming our energy landscape. By promoting ethanol production, we reduce excessive import reliance, enhance rural prosperity, and moderate automotive emissions. Our increased ethanol capacity and broader resource flexibility empower us to operate sustainably throughout the year. This not only improves our profitability, but also contributes to a cleaner environment through superior engine combustion of ethanol blended fuel. On CSR, corporate social responsibility remains a key focus area for us. We continue to engage in various initiatives aimed at improving the livelihoods of the communities we operate in. Our CSR activities include educational support, healthcare initiatives, infrastructure development, and sustainable livelihood through various projects. By promoting sustainable development, we aim to create a positive impact on society and contribute to the overall well-being of our stakeholders. Looking ahead, we are optimistic about the future. Our robust fundamentals with rupees 3,006 crore revenue, rupees 387 long-term debt, a debt equity ratio of 0.13, and rupees 169 crores cash as of 31st March 2024 provide us with a solid platform for growth. We are confident that the government will revert to the original spirit of the national biofuel policy, reviving our organic growth journey. Our recent acquisition and capacity expansion positions us well for future growth, enhancing value for all our stakeholders. In conclusion, I believe the prospects of our company are positive, driven by our strategic initiatives and the supportive policy environment. I thank you all for your continued support and confidence in our journey. Thank you very much and very warm regards to all of you and best wishes. I would now like to invite Mr. Anil Kataria, the Chief Financial Officer of the company, to please give a brief presentation on the key financial highlights of the year 2023-24.
Thank you.
Abhishek, I request you to please share the presentation.
Yes, I'll take you.
So you're not audible?
Because this year the government did not allow exports and the diversion to ethanol also was curtailed. But despite the lower top line, the EBITDA was up 5% from 515 crore to 539 crores. PBT was up by 2% from 355 crore to 363 crore. And PAT was up 9% from 250 crore to 272 crores. The larger increase in PAT was also on account of because the company opted for the new tax regime and resulting into lower incidence of tax outgoing this year. Next. Another significant development in this year was the acquisition of Bhagali.
Anil is not audible.
Anil, you're not audible.
Next. Yeah. So during the year, the projects commissioned were Jawaharpur grain-based distillery, which was expanded to 250 KLPD. Ramgarh crushing capacity also increased to 7,000 TCD, and the Nigohi steam saving project also completed. The benefits of all this for the full year impact would be seen in this year 24-25 and onwards. Next. In the key operational highlights, Ramgarh stood at #1 position in UP in terms of sugar recovery. Kolhapur and Nidai Devi plants in Maharashtra stood at #1 and #2, and the highest ever distillery sales at 18 crore liters. It could have been even higher had this diversion not curtailed by the government. Next.
You're not audible.
We can't hear you.
Next, please. In the domestic sugar balance sheet, the opening stock was 56 lakh metric ton. The production during the season was 320 lakh metric ton, which was the net production. The gross production was 345, and the sugar diverted to ethanol was 25, resulting into net production of 3.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Representation of the government to allow exports or increase diversion to ethanol. Next. In the global sugar balance sheet, the production was 180 million metric ton. The consumption was also 180 million metric ton. So it's almost balanced and resulting into almost stable raw sugar prices for the last 2 years. Next. Next. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kataria. I now request Ms. Ashima's Company Secretary to conduct the further proceedings of this AGM.
sir. Dear members, please note that the e-voting facility on the resolutions proposed in the notice of the annual general meeting is enabled throughout the meeting and shall remain enabled for 15 minutes thereafter. Members who have not voted through remote e-voting during July 7th to July 9th could use the e-voting facility and complete their voting. Mr. Vikas Gera, Practicing Company Secretary, has been appointed by the Board of Directors as the scrutinizer to ensure that the e-voting process is conducted in a fair and transparent manner and to scrutinize the votes cast by members through remote e-voting and e-voting during the period. All the documents and registered referred to in the notice of the annual general meeting and required under the Companies Act are available electronically for inspection by the members. As the AGM is being held through video conference, the facility for appointment of proxies by the members is not available. Following the formal proceedings of the meeting, members will have the opportunity to participate in the question and answer session. The moderator will oversee the session once the chairman opens the floor. Please note that the chairman reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of time. Members are requested to refer to the instructions provided in the notice or appearing on the video conference page for a seamless participation through video conference. In case members face any difficulty, they may reach out on the helpline numbers. As the notice of the AGM has already been circulated to all the members, with the permission of the chair, we would like to take the same as read.
Yes, please.
With the permission of the chair, we will now take up the items as set forth in the notice of the AGM.
Yes, please.
So first is the ordinary business. Item number 1 is to consider and adopt the audited financial statements of the company for the financial year ended 31st March 2024, prepared on standalone and consolidated basis, and the reports of the auditors and directors thereon. There is no qualification, reservation, or adverse remark in NSPP and Company, the statutory auditor's report on the financial statements. The notes on the financial statements referred to in the auditor's report are self-explanatory and do not call for any comments and explanation. The auditors have not reported any matter under Section 143 of the Companies Act. Also, there is no qualification, reservation, or adverse remark in the secretarial audit report of Vikas Gera and Associates, the secretarial auditor of the company. Item number 2 is to consider and declare final dividend of rupees 1.25 per equity share of rupees 2 for the financial year 23-24. Item number 3 is to consider and adopt a director in place of Shri Gautam Dalmia, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment. Now comes the special business. Item number 4 is to consider and ratify the remuneration of R.J. Goel and Company, the cost accountants, the cost auditors of the company for the financial year 24-25 by an ordinary resolution. Item number 5 is to consider and appoint Shri Dheeraj Chandra as an independent director by a special resolution. Item number 6 is to consider and reappoint Shri Amita Misra for a second term as an independent director by a special resolution. Item number 7 is to consider and appoint Shri Bharat Bhushan Mehta as a strategic advisor to the company with effect from October 1st, 2024 by an ordinary resolution. Item number 8 is to consider and appoint Shri Pankaj Rastogi as a director liable to retire by rotation by an ordinary resolution. Item number 9 is to consider and appoint Shri Pankaj Rastogi as a whole-time director and CEO with effect from October 1st by a special resolution. There is no other business to transact.
Thank you, Ashima. E-voting is still in the process and will continue for 15 minutes even after the meeting. I would now request the moderator to take up the questions from the members who have registered themselves as speakers, addressing them one by one. Members are kindly requested to keep their questions brief and specific. Additionally, Mr. Pankaj Rastogi, CEO, Sugar Business and Director, and Mr. Anil Kataria, the CFO of the company, will to kindly address the queries.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Milan Sani, you are unmuted now. Kindly ask your question and express your views, please. Mr. Milan Sani. Mr. Milan?
Good morning, all of you.
Good morning.
Sir, my question is, the government had curtailed sugar diversion to ethanol last year. How did the impact the company? Do we accept government to limit diversion this year also?
Mr. Saini, due to lower production expected last year, the government had curtailed diversion so as to ensure sufficient domestic sugar availability. Eventually, as a result of this, the industry and the company experienced high level of sugar stocks and large working capital blockade. Although, I think as the season came to a close, the eventual sugar production was much higher than initial expectations. And next year also, we expect production to be in excess of consumption by about 2 million ton. So the balance sheet looks very comfortable. And we expect government to, permit diversion in the as usual scenario. So that remains our expectation, which will certainly be positive for the sector and the company. Thank you.
Sir, okay. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Rajiv Roshan, you are unmuted now. Kindly ask your question and express your views, please. Mr. Rajiv Roshan, kindly go ahead.
नमस्कार रस्तोगी जी, मेरा प्रश्न चीनी के न्यूनतम विक्रय मूल्य से संबंधित है. Currently, this MSP is significantly lower than the prevailing prices. Can we expect this MSP to increase this year? Or if yes, how is it going to impact your organization and the industry as a whole?
Okay. Yeah, Rajiv ji, as this MSP, it's been quite a while since this MSP was set. After, and there has been no revision after that. There have been, multiple cane price increases. So MSP is certainly due for, revision. Our representations, the industry's representations, and they are pending with the government. And our expectation is that, looking at the current scenario, the government should take a decision on, on the increase in MSP. We can't, it's difficult to speculate on the quantum of increase or otherwise, but surely this is something which is on the card. And if it happens, then it's a definite positive for the sector and the company in terms of the sentiment. Although, just to qualify, there may not be an immediate impact on the profitability of the company, because current sugar prices are higher than MSP. So, but in the long run, definitely, this is bound to be a positive for the sector.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Mr. Varadarajan. Mr. Rajan, you are unmuted now. Kindly ask your question and express your views, please.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Sir, my question is, what is the outlook of ethanol from grain in future, sir?
Okay, yeah, Mr. Varadarajan, see, ethanol blending program of the government of India, has been a success. But I think the kind of targets which are there in terms of the blending percentage, instead of two short-term targets being 20%, then eventually going higher. So sugar, of course, cannot meet all the ethanol requirement. So the grain will have to, definitely step in. There are, there are some like any other thing. Once it's a new sector, there are, development. There are certain road bumps which are there, along the way. But I think the path to, biofuels, ethanol from grain is irreversible. And, we are sure that eventually, if we look at the roadmap of Government of India also, around 50% supply of ethanol will come from the sugar and 50% will come from the grain. So the outlook for the grain is certainly bright. And, looking at this, the company has invested in increasing capacity of the grain also. 110 KL Jawarpur distillery has been expanded to 250 KL. And we continue to wait and watch for the opportunities in this sector. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Mr. Yogendra Singh Chauhan. Mr. Chauhan, you are unmuted now. Kindly ask your question. Please go ahead. Mr. Chauhan? Mr. Chauhan, I request you to kindly unmute yourself and ask your question. Sir, Mr. Chauhan is not responding. So if you allow, can we invite next speaker?
Yes, please. Sorry.
Now invite Mr. Murli. T. Murli, kindly unmute your. Yeah, please go ahead. Mr. Murli, you are unmuted. Kindly go ahead, please. So we are not getting any response from Mr. Murli. Can we go ahead?
Yes, please.
Now I invite Mr. Anju Gangwar. Ms. Anju, kindly ask your question and express your views, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have any questions, but rather I would like to congratulate to the company for expansion of Jawaharpur grain-based distillery capacity and acquisition of Bagoli Sugar and Distillery Limited during this year. Starting the commercial production at Bagoli in a record time is really appreciable. I wish the company registers exponential growth in the coming future. Best of luck for the company. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
So
for
next
encouraging words.
Next speaker is Mr. Manjeet Singh. However, he registered himself, but he's not present in the meeting. So this is question answer session is completed now. You can go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sogi. Thank you, Mr. Kataria. All the items of the business as per the notice of the 72nd Annual General Meeting have been taken up. I now declare the proceedings of the AGM as completed. As mentioned earlier, I request and authorize the Company Secretary to declare the results of the voting upon receipt of the scrutinizer's report by placing the same on the website and filing with the stock exchange at the earliest and not later than 12th of July 2024. On behalf of the Board of Directors and Management of Dalmia Sugar, I convey sincere thanks to all the members for attending and participating in this meeting. Stay healthy and safe, and thank you very much.
I shall do the needful, sir. Thank you all for attending the meeting and for making this e-AGM a success and extending your full support. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.